ਜਸ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੋਸਟ ਆਸ਼ਮਿਤਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਦੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਦੀ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਡੀ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਕੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਹਨ जो भावें हैडलाइनस ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ, ਸਾਡੀ ਡੇ ਟੂ ਡੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਵਾਤਾਵਰਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੀ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਜਾਂ ਅਕਸਰ ਹੈਡਲਾਈਨਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੇਨ ਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਗੀਆਂ। ਬਟ एक ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਡੇ ਟੂ ਡੇ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲਈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਕਿਸਾਨੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਐਗਰੀਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਡੂੰਘੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜੋ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਵੈਸਟ ਕੋਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਗਰੀਕਲਚਰ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਰੋਲ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੇ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਖਤਰਾ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਖਤਰਾ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਇਟਸ ਰਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰਸ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਲ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰਸ ਹੋਰ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਾਇੰਟੀਫਿਕ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਦੱਸਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਇਸ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਸੀਜ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੈਕਰਡ ਹਾਈ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰਸ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਗਰਮੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਗਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ। ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪ੍ਰੀਪੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਵੱਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੱਲ ਹੈ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਹੋਣ, ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਕੋਲਿਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਣ, ਪੈਰਿਸ ਕਲਾਈਮੇਟ ਚੇਂਜ ਅਕੋਰਡਸ, ਫਲਾਨਾ ਹੋਏ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਬਟ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਐਂਟਰਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ਸ ਹੈਗੇ, ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਇਸ ਹੀ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖਦੀ ਹੈ, ਅਨਡਿਨਾਏਬਲ ਸਾਇੰਸ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ 1951 ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਚਾਰਟ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰਸ ਜੋ ਔਰੇਂਜ ਪੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗਾ, ਜੋ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਉਸ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਉਸ ਵੱਲ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਲ ਬਰ ਸਾਲ ਹਰ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਚਰ ਦਾ ਮੈਜ਼ਰਮੈਂਟ ਲਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੋ ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਹੀਟ ਹੈਗੀ, ਜੋ ਇਨਵਾਇਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਲਈ, ਖੇਤੀਬਾੜੀ ਲਈ, ਜਾਨਵਰਾਂ ਲਈ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਲਈ ਖਤਰਨਾਕ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ 2004 ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 15 ਤੱਕ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਉਹ ਜੋ ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਹੀਟ ਡਾਰਕ ਰੈੱਡ ਵਾਲਾ ਪੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੱਧਦਾ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਗ੍ਰਾਫ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸੈਂਕੜੋ ਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ ਹਨ, ਕਿੰਨੀ ਰਿਸਰਚ, ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਹਨ, ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਸਟ ਅਤੇ ਸੰਸਥਾਵਾਂ ਹਨ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੱਸਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਪਲੈਨਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਰਕੇ, ਹਿਊਮਨ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਕੇ। ਐਂਡ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਓਵਰਨਾਈਟ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ, ਆਪ ਦੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਢੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਨ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਲਈ, ਅਪਣਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਸੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਸੋਲਰ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਦਾ। ਸੋਲਰ ਪੈਨਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਕੂਲਿੰਗ ਅਤੇ ਹੀਟਿੰਗ ਕਾਸਟਸ ਨੂੰ, ਐਨਰਜੀ ਕਾਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਥੱਲੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਟ ਇਸ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਨ ਲਈ ਕੋਈ ਚੰਗਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੋਲਰ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਜੁੜਦੇ ਹੈ ਸੋਲੀਵਾ ਐਨਰਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦੇ ਗੈਸਟ CEO ਐਂਡ co-founder of Soleeva Energy Ahmad Qazi ਜੀ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
Sat Sri Akal, and good evening to all of you and everybody else too. So thank you for inviting me again.
Of course, Ahmad ji, it's always a pleasure, especially when we talk about the environment, which is a topic that you are personally very passionate about. And this passion carries over into the work that's being done at Soleeva Energy. Our community is pretty familiar, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਨਾਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ Soleeva ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਸੋਲਰ ਪੈਨਲਸ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸੋਲਰ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। But Ahmad ji, I want to start today's conversation with a very bleak reality which we all face at the start of yet another summer season. You know, already we're hitting record high temperatures. There's a heat wave in the northeast where I am in New York. We have temperatures upwards of 90s already. And hale sirf garmiyan di shuruaat hai. West coast de vich wildfire season ek bari fir shuru ho chukya hai. Jo agricultural businesses han, vadde agricultural businesses, medium to small size, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਖਤਰਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਗਰਮੀ ਕਰਕੇ। You know, you're someone who cares about the environment. What is your overall outlook about these rising temperatures?
Thank you so much, Aashmeeta. Part of it is you put a very compelling chart out there. I think that depicts the story or what is really happening. I think that was a very forceful and a very compelling chart that you did. So, having said, and if I want to elaborate on that, the biggest concern right now, not only being the CEO or the founder of Soleeva, is that exactly what, when I started Soleeva, when we began this journey, we knew what we were up against. Right? The rising temperatures. Rising temperature, imagine just in California, in the Bay Area, which is moderate temperature, is already have seen more hotter days than any time in the history, in the recent history at least. Those days have already been, and as you said, summer hasn't even begun yet.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's pretty bleak. Are very concerning to us, to me personally in that sense also, but as a human being, much more than that. But I'm an optimist. I'm optimist by temperament, and I look at that, okay, we can do a lot of things about it. On an individual level or as collectively as a community, we can do quite a bit to make the dent and at least stop this journey, which is very, very concerning to our kids and our grandkids and our generation. So for that matter, I am optimist that we just need to, and I already see that it's getting to that point that eventually programs like yours, and I mean it, you're doing a tremendous service to Punjabi community for that matter. It means a lot to me personally, that too. Business is business, but this is something that you care, and that's where we connected, that you really care about it, and we do, that what do we give back to our generation, our coming generation, and ourselves, even now while we're living. So the dark side is we must wake up. We must do it. As you said in another, that this journey, this crusade, I call it, begins with you. I mean, every one of us has to get up and do our part. Having said that, that's where we try to also bring the best part of it, is the most efficient technology and resources to everyone, particularly of course, our Punjabi community, farming community, which is getting a lot more effect from it in every way. just living in high temperatures and impacting their business and their performance. So having said that, I think we are ready to help. We're ready to contribute and help and educate and do whatever is necessary for our community in particular and in general California and wherever else we are around the globe to do our part of the job so that we can at least say that we did what we could. And I tell everybody else, you do what your part is, and that little piece adds up and it becomes the ocean, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Ahmed ji, they say charity begins at home, but even if we're talking about large-scale change to save the environment as we know it, that change needs to also begin at home. And we're not talking about something monumental here. We're talking about a technology, solar technology, solar renewable energy, which is one of the most well-developed, किन्नी पुरानी चेर तो सोलर एनर्जी चलती आ रही है उन्नू रिफाइन किया खास करके सोलीवा दी जो यूनीक टेक्नोलॉजी हैगी वो इस चीज़ नू अगे होर एडवांस तरीके नाल लोकां तक पहुंचाती है सो आई काइंड ऑफ वांट टू हैव यू टॉक अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट दैट बिकॉज ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ भी इन्नी इन्फॉर्मेशन है जो आम लोगों को नहीं हाले तक पहुंच रही लोग सोलर सोचते दे जस्ट थिंक ऑफ अ सोलर पैनल दे थिंक बहुत महंगा होएगा साडे छत ते लग नहीं सकता 10 चीज़ां वो सोचते हैं बट नाउ इज़ नॉट द टाइम साडे कोल टाइम दी लग्जरी नहीं रह गई हुन टू आस्क दोज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इंस्टेड वी शुड बी आस्किंग how can I get renewable energy? How can I use solar panels to make a difference? इत्थे एक छोटी जी ब्रेक ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਕਾਜ਼ੀ ਜੀ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਡੋਂਟ ਗੋ ਐਨੀਵੇਅਰ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੋ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੋਲਰ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਬੈਨੀਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਬੈਨੀਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਕਸਰ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਿੰਗ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਤੇ ਉਨ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਬਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਵਲੀਹੁੱਡ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਨੂੰ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਅਗਲੀ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ এনवायरमेंट ਦੀ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ এনवायरमेंट ਇਨਕਰੀਸਿੰਗਲੀ ਹੋਰ ਗਰਮ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਬਟ अगर असी पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट की गल करिए तो एक बहुत आसान सोल्यूशन है सारिਆਂ ਕੋਲ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਨਿਭਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਹੋਏ मैं गल कर रही हाँ सोलर एनर्जी की सोलर पैनल्स ਨੂੰ इस्तेमाल करके की कुछ फायदे तुसी अपना सकते हो उन्होंने बारे गल करने लिए सानू ज्वाइन करे सोलीवा एनर्जी के CEO एंड को फाउंडर एक्सक्यूज़ मी अहमद काजी जी एक बार फिर अहमद जी वेलकम बैक टू द प्रोग्राम अहमद जी तुसी पंजाबी कम्यूनिटी दे नाल खास करके कैलीफोर्निया दे विच बहुत एक करीबी ਦੇ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਟੀਮ ਸੋਲੀਵਾ ਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਲਈ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੋ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਸਟ ਕੋਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਗਰੀਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੋਲੀਵਾ ਦੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਟਮ ਲਾਈਨ 'ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਸੀ 'ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈ ਇਨ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੋਜ਼ੀਟਿਵ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਸੋਲਰ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦੋਜ਼ ਟੌਪਿਕਸ ਵੇਅਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ऑफ कोर्स असी एक जोश नाल गल करते हैं बिकॉज असी पैशनेट हाँ तुसी भी पैशनेट हो इस चीज़ बारे साडे लिए भी मी एज समवन लुकिंग एट माई फ्यूचर मैनू भी डर लगता है कि आने वाले समय दे विच की होण जा रहा है इस वातावरण का जिथे मैं रहना है मेरे बच्चों ने वड्डे होना है बट यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट इट फ्रॉम अ प्रोफेशनल स्टैंड पॉइंट एज वेल एंड प्रोफेशनली स्पीकिंग देयर आर सम अनडिनाइबल बेनिफिट्स फॉर बिजनेसेस राइट एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट I don't think people fully understand. मैं चाहूँगी अहमद जी using some of the real life experiences जो तुसी ते तुहाडी टीम ने कैलिफोर्निया दे business owners दे नाल experience कीते है walk us through some just pure cost savings that business owners have seen, especially in the agricultural sector, once they adopted Soleeva solar technology?
Thank you, Aashmeeta. I'll say one part of it first, and I'll go into detail. One part which you just said. So when we close our team here, when they announce and close an account, just even a residential, you know how we celebrate? We say that we just helped put 10 trees. Minimum 10 trees. We just planted, our customer and us together, we planted 10 trees. You know how big of that, how good that feels? That without, really going, digging in and all that, we contributed to that environment and we essentially put 10 trees. That's how big it is for us, a residential customer. When they go solar, how much they help. So one cannot undermine that impact. But then when you get into the commercial accounts, the gas stations, the car washes, the farming industry, our farming brothers out there where we are pretty big, the size of the solar, that essentially, sometimes we're talking about them, that most of them now are coming to us and say, well, I am breaking even in 1.5 to 2 years. It's a no-brainer. How come we did not know? And I feel really good that we educated. We showed them in number, and then when they went solar, they saw the rising cost, right? I mean, imagine California, most of the utilities company went up already about 30% this year. Even before that, so that last year, the year before, the break even for a business was about 4 years. Now it is less than 2 years. That is a tremendous payback in terms of the capital and investment, right? So what it happens after 2 years, the solar, particularly Soleeva Solar's life is 30 years minimum. That means 28 years, you have no more bills. Nothing. You are done with it. And that how much it, and what it makes it, that means it goes straight bottom line to your bottom line, right? Your profit, that's the saving that really goes direct to your pocket. So the impact is tremendous in terms of the financial outcome, the benefit. And of course, then I said you can't deny a commercial customer goes solar, that means they have essentially on average have put 100 and 200 trees. So it's a great thing. A farming industry, I'll say one more thing, farming industry in particular, our farmers, when I tell them, I said, you are already in the business, you're planting trees, yes, fruit trees or whatever, all of that. Imagine you are adding up the trees. Saving, adding up the trees, so how much you are helping them. And then, of course, Soleeva's technology in its very essence is unique. It is the self-cleaning, it is self-cooling, which both of them are almost twice to 3 times better than any technology that exists out there, because it lasts longer, it has that production guarantee and warranty, but nobody else provides. On top of that, the self-cleaning, cleaning technology, which is unique to Soleeva, is so powerful. If you recall, I said even the air that touches it, that gets clean. Not only your panel remains clean, the air that moves along and touches the surface of the panel gets clean. And that is, to me, that's music to my ear when I know that any customer, any farmer, or anybody else who is going solar, that's how I feel about it. That all right, we did our part a little bit more today, and all of that. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. So there are, Ahmadji, the way you're explaining it, we tend to think, oh, you get a solar panel, it's as simple as your electricity bill will go down by some percentage, and that's about it. But you're telling me by getting खास करके Soleeva de solar panels, by specifically getting Soleeva solar panels, the technology that you have, that there are all of these other benefits. Not only is it like physically planting trees in terms of helping the environment heal, but there are all these benefits like cleaning the actual air, reducing pollution, which once again is one of the critical indicators of how much worse things are getting, and especially in cities or in urban areas where it's not just rising heat and rising temperatures, but increasing pollution that's making, just for people to be outside, making that dangerous. So Soleeva solar panels do all of that. But there's also this element of the bill that I think that, we can explain this even more in depth, right? So I was reading something that, for example, in California, PG&E is the big electricity provider. And this year, PG&E, the electricity bill that you normally see, is set to go up by a significant amount. And once again, if it's residential, that's one thing. You can understand a little bit here and there. But those numbers, when you're talking about a large-scale business, whether it's agriculture, transportation, gasoline industry, gas stations, those numbers really add up, right? So when we talk about savings, right, in the simplest words, savings on your electricity bill, what kind of savings are we looking at? Say a business, a big business, adopts, gets Soleeva solar panels installed this year. What kind of savings can they expect in 1 year, in 5 years on their electricity bill coming from providers like PG&E as temperatures get higher and higher?
Big, tremendous saving, and particularly if you talk about California and Central Valley and all across the board. But what it is doing is, on average, if you take a customer that is running a gas station or a car wash, that means on average, we just did some projects, and I'll give you the statistics for the good reason, that their average bill was coming about between $11,000 to $12,000. Zero. Other than the main cost, $150, what they pay, there is no more bill. Now they have another business in the same period in which they did not do the solar, where they were getting about 8,000 to 9,000, that has gone to about 12,000 because of the increase in the PG&E rates. It has already gone 18% before, now it is going another 30%, and planning is PG&E has already filing and other utility that next year by February they will increase another 30%. That means a total almost 72+% percentage increase in within the next 12 months. It will, and it's not that it is if, it is when, and the when is what's already taking place. So for a business, as I said, it is pure bottom line. It is, and on top of that, it is the security and safety. No more blackouts. You don't worry about that particularly if you put the battery with it, right? And you don't have to put huge battery. You just put enough battery that when the systems are down, when there is a blackout, right? Mandatory. Imagine, in the area I live, residential area, even summer hasn't begun, we already had 2 blackouts.
Wow.
So blackouts is coming part of normal life now, like unfortunately, like we had back home where blackouts are so common, is happening right here. And you can't blame somebody also or not. It is what we can do to remedy it, right? How we prevent it. And this is where the beauty is, not only that Soleeva is there to help our customer to do that on one business at a time and one house at a time. We are ready. We try to bring them the best service, and then we give them the technology that truly shows a complete value proposition because of its superior technology. As we said, Aashmeeta, before, that all solar are not created equal. And it is our sweat and blood for last 13 years into R&D that we put into this one on our dime to come up with a technology where the value proposition is much more superior than anybody else out there in terms of what they can do and what our panel's unique technology does for them.
You're talking about all solar is not equal. Of course, solar panels, it's become such a popular, well-known technology or source of energy that people think, oh, it's just a generic solar panel. But no, there are certain solar panels that do way more for your bottom line, for the environment than others. And it all comes down to how much you invest in the research, the development, the technology, which Soleeva has done time and time again. Ahmad ji, you mentioned this thing about blackouts, right? This is so interesting. California is still a very environmentally progressive state, but there are states in other parts of the country. I'll use Texas as an example. I was just reading the other day. Texas is on track to have a record high number of blackouts this year. Organizations are already predicting this, that जिन्ने blackout, जिन्ने वारी उन्हां दी बिजली पिछले साल गई सी, उत्तों भी वध इस साल जाएगी, because the grid, the electricity grid is already overburdened, it's underfunded, underdeveloped, and the more people crank their AC, जिन्नी ज़्यादा गर्मी वधदी है, उन्ने ज़्यादा AC चलदे हैं, उन्ने ज़्यादा उस grid ते load पैंदा है, and they're gonna get blackouts. And now you're telling me that Soleeva solar panels are once again offer this, additional benefit of helping counter that as well. Jo khas karke businesses, like especially for businesses, can make or break a business, right? Your ability to continue to do business without the lights going off, just because the temperatures are really high and the grid can't handle it. But coming back to California specifically, there are some government incentives जो California state ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ help ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ when it comes to adopting some of this technology, solar panels specifically. I want to hear about that. ਉਹ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ। Ahmad ji, don't go anywhere. Viewers, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੋ। California ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੀ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਇਨਸੈਂਟਿਵਸ, ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਇਨਸੈਂਟਿਵ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਫਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਸੋਲਰ ਪੈਨਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਲਗਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਨਾ ਆਏ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਅਸਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਹੋਏ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਬਾਅਦ। ब्रेक तो बाद मुड़ हाजिर हैं, तुसी वेख रहे हो प्रोग्राम अज दा मुद्दा, खास करके जो साडे व्यूअर्स वैस्ट कोस्ट दे विच कैलिफोर्निया स्टेट दे विच रहिंदे है, उन्हां लई ये जानकारी बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत वैल्यूएबल हो सकती है। गर्मियां शुरू हो चुकी हैं ऑलरेडी, जो टैंपरेचर्स हैं खास करके कैलिफोर्निया दे विच तुहाडे लई तां किन्ने चिर तो गर्मियां शुरू हो चुकी हैं, ये टैंपरेचर्स करके की कुछ इंपैक्ट होएगा ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰਿਸਿਟੀ ਗ੍ਰਿਡ ਤੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਡੇ ਟੂ ਡੇ ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰਿਸਿਟੀ ਬਿੱਲ ਤੇ, ਇਨ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਬਟ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਅਸਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਆਫਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਲਰ ਪੈਨਲਸ ਲਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਲੀਵਾ ਸੋਲਰ ਪੈਨਲਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹਨ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਕਾਜ਼ੀ ਜੀ। ਅਹਿਮਦ ਜੀ, once again, I love the line, not all solar is created equal. Solar panels बहुत popular एक technology आज दी date विच हैगी, किन्ने firms solar panels लगांदे हैं, but we're talking about Soleeva specifically, जो एक higher grade, एक research या science based technology ਨੂੰ अपना के सोलर पैनल का जो बेसिक कम है वो तो करती है, बट उस तो अलावा 10 होर बेनिफिट्स ऑफर करती है that are both environmentally and bottom line wise offering the benefit to the customer. But is to alawa जिन्हां नूं हले भी थोड़ी hesitation है कि that's a big investment, right, and maybe I can't do this investment right now, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਟੈਕਸ ਰੀਬੇਟਸ ਕੁਝ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਆਫਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ। ਨਾਓ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਅ ਫੋਰਐਵਰ ਥਿੰਗ ਰਾਈਟ, ਲਾਸਟ ਆਈ ਚੈੱਕਡ 2023 ਤੱਕ ਇਹ ਵੈਲਿਡ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ, ਸੋ ਸਮਾਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਇਨ ਇਨਸੈਂਟਿਵਸ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਉਠਾਉਣ ਲਈ। ਕੈਨ ਯੂ ਟੈਲ ਅਸ ਅ ਲਿਟਲ ਬਿਟ ਮੋਰ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਥੀਸ ਇਨਸੈਂਟਿਵਸ ਐਂਡ ਹਾਊ our viewers can take advantage of them?
Sure, Aashmeeta. I'll also give another reference point to you and for the benefit of our listeners too and audiences too. Right before you, I finished a pretty long discussion and a call with National Science Foundation. National Science Foundation is getting recognition from them on a program of renewable is pretty incredibly prestigious for us. So we are their partner now, and we are working, and we were talking about how Soleeva's technology, if somebody, our audience, they want to know, we have been awarded also from them, and we are in many publications about Soleeva's technology. How progressive it has been. They call us the next generation already in terms of where we are, in terms of what we are doing on solar and renewable technology. So has been big months and days for us in terms of that achievement. So just wanted to know that is an endorsement that goes beyond anybody's doubts in terms of how well Soleeva is doing in terms of bringing out the very, very best technology, right? Now, coming back on your side, there's a good side and there's a bad side always in terms of the incentives and rates. First, that I would love to tell my customer that there is a upcoming another incentive. So right now there's a tax credit, 26%, that you're right. Most likely, maybe one more year, and that's about it. It's a free money, right? 26% discount is a pretty huge amount. And granted, the ticket item is big, but that helps a lot. So I would strongly recommend that everyone should look into that. I don't use those scare tactics, and we don't. We tell the facts, this is coming. And this is what it is, one more year, so take advantage of it now. And not only that, PG&E, they all want to make money. What they're doing is they're going to what they call in California NEM 3. That is the net metering, what they call, on which right now average household pays only $15 service charge. But PG&E is fighting hard to make it that in another year or so, get it into at least 30% of whatever your bill was. That's what they want to charge you. So it's everybody's interest to sign up for this and get converted now. So then your grandfather, they cannot charge you, right? So there are so many reasons for everyone to really get it going, because there's no choice. You will have to do it, and when you do now, at least you have this incentive from the tax point of view. Then this scare part of that coming up, and then the good news. I always end up on the optimism side that there is another rebate also coming for the battery storage. That will add up another 30% or so in terms of the battery storage side. That is from the California state or the PG&E. Because they have, of course, they have a grid problem. So one can get almost 50-60% of the batteries in the coming days, and in the solar, of course, as I said, the break even is shrinking. So I'll close this part on this statement that somebody thinks, oh, they can't afford it. Absolutely, I would love to tell them that no, in terms of where the solar is right now, in terms of where the bill is, most of our customers particularly with Soleeva's technology, where there's a big deal production warranty that we pay if we miss production. Our self-cleaning panel, which are a lot more efficient, because of that, most of our customers are breaking even within 3.5 years.
So
I mean, that's amazing return on your investment, right? And then, of course, you go and you plant the trees, right?
Absolutely. And once again, when we talk about the rising costs of just paying your electricity bill, like you said, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਵਧਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ. It's inevitably going up. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when and by how much. This year it's going up, I think you said 18%.
18% already gone, and
it's already gone up.
Another 30%.
And it's going to go up another 30%. Every year the summer gets hotter, that there's an additional load on the grid, it's just going to go up more and more and more. So you know that you're going to be paying more no matter what. On the other hand, you invest in a technology that can bring your bill down to zero and also provide all these additional benefits for you professionally, personally, as well as for the environment. It kind of seems like a no-brainer. But Qazi ji, for some reason, people still need convincing to adopt this technology. What would you say is the biggest misconception, ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਗਲਤ ਫਹਿਮੀ ਕੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ when they think of solar, and specifically ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ Soleeva ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, right? Soleeva ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ solution offer ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? I'm just curious to know, why wouldn't everybody be getting these solar panels, especially in the West Coast, where you have so many days of sunshine? Like it's not like, we're talking about areas where sometimes it rains a lot or etc. We're talking about constant sunshine. You have the space for it. Why wouldn't more people be adopting this? What are you seeing on your end?
Part of it, a very good question, actually. Part of it is, I tell you, the solar industry, some of the other players have damaged itself. Because when not now, but in the years before this, but now, I would say companies like Soleeva has taken over the leading position and educated customers enough about it that all solar are not created equal. There was solar technology, people had the bad experience of the performance. Exactly same thing what we're saying. They got it, it didn't perform as they were promised. It was less efficient compared to what they thought it were. And luckily, the whole industry, I would not say that, the whole industry has moved forward and has done a better job now. But Soleeva has taken leapfrog in terms of bringing the technology and the service itself that we are there. That is what, if you see particularly Aashmeeta and Punjabi, our community and Asian community, they know 95% time we call them if there's a problem. That's what was missing. They know, first of all, they're getting what they were promised. They're getting a service. Nobody's going away, and we are the one who pick up the phone because we're monitoring the system. We tell them there's certain things not going right. There is inverter not working right and all of that, and they say, how did you know? And we tell them this is what we promised, this is what we're delivering. So I think what you are saying was correct, but there's a good news that right now, imagine for every one install, we are getting 2 to 3 to 4 referrals. Wow. Because the neighbors are seeing what they see from, and they hear all the good things that, okay, Soleeva's panels have done, their service was this, they have been out there, they have done a great job. So that is really helping people more than, of course, business is coming, but more than that is educating people that solar is the right thing to do. And I think that's what we are hoping that from your channel, which is doing a tremendous job in terms of getting this message out there, and your background in it, and your commitment to it, it really is going and resonating with the community, and they're coming to know that this is something, it's not out there somebody else's problem. This is our collective problem, collective responsibility, as you did in your introduction very eloquently. It is truly is that. So I think this message, more and more we bring to every home, is changing. It's already creating that wave. Definitely in our community here, that solar is something. Let's forget about the past. It is very good, and we should do it. And of course, I love that they want to go with Soleeva. But I always tell them, some reason if you don't go solar for sure, but you will be much happier if you go with Soleeva. Right?
I thank you. I love that. You know, once again, there's business, but then there's hard science, and Soleeva offers a combination of both. You're talking about your recognition from the National Institute of Science. This is a huge, huge deal. In closing, Ahmad ji, you know, we could have these conversations. There's so much to discuss still. We could have many more of these conversations, but aj de program, the closing de vich, you know, once again, it seems that yes, you know, half the year is behind us, but the hottest months of the year are still ahead of us. If someone, you know, were to even contact Soleeva today, the contact information is on the screen. The phone number 833-820-8080. Once again, 833-820-8080 for free consultation. You can call. Someone contacts you today, they move forward with getting these panels. They can save tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, by the end of the year. They can add that to that savings, the rebate offered by the state of California. And this is not just a financial investment, but money in your pocket. You know, I'd love to get a closing message from you, especially for jo sade Punjabi community sun rahi hai. If they call, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ help ਕਰੂਗਾ. I know you have a great local team on the ground in the West Coast. I'd love to hear a shout out to them, and ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ viewers ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ closing ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ?
Absolutely. We are here to particularly support and thank you to their support to us. Their trust more than anything else, in terms of they trust us. And yes, I can do a damage with Punjabi myself too. We have a team that speaks much more eloquently Punjabi. Jus Punjabi, he's absolutely phenomenal. And then other team members, we have many teams in the marketing that are always 24/7 essentially. It doesn't take us more than 5 to 8 minutes before we return the call. That's the maximum delay is that, and we try to be very prompt. Another thing, I would close this, Aashmeeta, as you said, one of the things that in which we take a huge pride, our average residential close and all done, finished job is 6 weeks to 7 weeks maximum. That compares to 6 and 7 months. Other companies are taking that long because we have a very efficient system. We committed to, particularly in terms of Punjabi community, or that, but our well-oiled machine is ready, and we move methodical. And the other part which makes us very different from other, why we do it so much faster, because everything is in-house. We do not outsource anything. One-stop shop. You have an issue, you come to Soleeva. We don't point out you to go to this, go to manufacturer. No, we are taking full responsibility. So because of that, we do a much better job in terms of delivery time and finishing the job, plus also taking the responsibility. I think that's where our customers love us, that they know there is one place. They can pick up the phone and they can call Ahmad Qazi direct, and I'll take their call until midnight. So this is how we're trying to serve our community. So I would say, tell them that give us a chance, give us a call. We will serve you the best possible. There will never be a lack of effort. Every customer to us is dear because of the service we do and because how they contribute to the environment.
Once again, Ahmad Qazi ji, it's very rare that a CEO or a co-founder of a company as big and successful as Soleeva would offer that kind of guarantee and would take personal responsibility. But it just speaks to the passion that you have for this work, and of course we're happy to help you get that message out there to our viewers. Once again, Soleeva Solar Energy ਦੇ ਲਈ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਤੇ ਲਿਖੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ soleeva.com। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਜਾਂ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਲਪ ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ as always, Ahmad ji, for joining us and sharing some of this invaluable information. We hope to have you back again soon, and good luck staying cool this summer.
Thank you so much.
ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। once again, ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ environment ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹੈਡਲਾਈਨਸ ਘੱਟ ਸੁਣਨ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ, ਬਟ ਉਹਦਾ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਡੇ ਟੂ ਡੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਚੇਂਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਨਿਭਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਆਪਦੀ ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ, ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਲਈ ਜਾਂ Soleeva ਸੋਲਰ ਪੈਨਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ, ਕਮੈਂਟਸ, ਕੰਸਰਨਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ info@justbroadcasting.com, aashmeeta@justbroadcasting.com। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿਓ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।